We're so excited that you are here with us tonight. My name is Holly Lagore. I am a registered pharmacist. I've been a pharmacist for 23 years now, and I have a wonderful group of co-hosts with me that range in all sorts of areas of the healthcare field. We certainly are happy that you have decided to join us tonight. We're hoping to keep it around 30 minutes long at the end. If we're just talking and you got to go, then do what you need to do. But that's around the time frame we're looking at, and we hope that you'll be able to find someone's story you can relate to and take some sort of information that we will provide tonight away that will hopefully benefit yourself or your family. So just to get started, like I said, my name is Holly, and I have been with the Juice Plus company for almost 8 years now. I am a mom to 2 teenage boys, very active in all sorts of sports. And when my boys were 6 and 8, another pharmacist friend of mine introduced me to the concept of fruits and veggies in a capsule or gummy. And first of all, I thought that was kind of crazy. It sounded like Jetson food to me. And she was like, no, really. And my boys were so picky, like you would have to fight them to, just get a couple pieces of broccoli, at the supper table. And there was bribes. There was bribes going on. So anyways, I really did take a good look at it. Of course, I was skeptical at the beginning because it kind of sounds, like I said, like Jetson food and too good to be true. But once I actually looked into it, I'm like, why hasn't anyone told me about this sooner? This company has been around for 25 years now, and it has more research on it than pretty much any drug I know. And coming from a pharmacist, I hope that means a lot. There is the incredible amount of research of what food does in our bodies. So I've become so passionate about helping families become healthier through a more holistic approach. I've learned through these years that truly food is the best medicine. And it's just so amazing that what food can do to not only protect, but also to repair the damage that occurs in our bodies on a daily basis, from the environmental toxins that we face, to oxidative stress, to the unhealthy foods we eat, what we are eating that's causing, this damage, and then what aren't we eating that could protect us. And that is where Juice Plus comes into play. So just a little bit more about my story, and then we're going to hear a few more, because we really just want to have some conversations tonight, just to hear each other's stories. And we don't really want it to be a presentation. We just want to talk with one another and find out some information. So my personal story, besides my boys being, the normal picky eaters, myself personally, I might have looked healthy on the outside, but I was always sick. Ask any of my coworkers, they're always like, Holly, you need to be put in a bubble. I was continuously on antibiotics and steroids and taking allergy shots because I was having constant sinus infections and laryngitis, bronchitis. I had a very, very low immune system. I would get something just simple as a paper cut, and it would take me over a month to heal from something like that. So it definitely was a life that I know I needed to change. And that is, like I said, when my friend Kelly, who's also a pharmacist, introduced me to Juice Plus, and it literally changed my world. And that is one of the main huge reasons why I'm so passionate about sharing this with others, because I know how much it has helped me. After I was on the product for only a few weeks and started seeing incredible changes in my health, I immediately started telling my friends and family about it. Just because, like, if you find that, a good sale at the store, you want to tell your friends and family about that. And so now to speak, I've been on Juice Plus for almost 8 years now. I have only ever been sick once for about 12 hours with a stomach bug. I have no more allergy shots, no more antibiotics, steroids. It's absolutely wonderful to know that what just adding in food can do can literally change your body and your health and everything that goes along with that. And I know, Suzanne, you have a similar, story with lots of different things and issues that your family had. I don't know if you'd like to share a few of those with us.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Holly. I love your story. I just think it's so important as a busy pharmacist and busy mom that you still, saw the value of what fruits and vegetables in a capsule can bring. And that's what my story, you guys, 23 years ago, Nancy's on this call today. She introduced Juice Plus to my husband at the time, and he brought it home. And I said, "What is this? We're vegetarians. I thought we were doing everything right." And he said, "Oh, I still think, we're not getting the whole rainbow of food." And so that's what we did. And within 3 to 4 months, our kids were vegetarians and we still had asthma, allergies, migraines, ADHD involved with those kids. And 3 to 4 months of being on Juice Plus, they were off. There were all the nebulizers, inhalers, the things that were so part of what was wrong with those things going on with them. And, we don't make claims, but we know what happens in our bodies when we give ourselves really good food. And so, my daughter was 16 and she'd been on Juice Plus for about 8 years. And she developed a significant eating disorder, going from 115 pounds athlete down to 67 pounds. Wondered if she was going to live, you guys. It was so frightening. She would do the Juice Plus. She may, the anorexic part, she might not have anything, or the bulimic, she might take in a lot and throw it up. But she always had her Juice Plus. And I know that along with God, saved her life. And so those are my stories that I can hang my hat with. That may not happen for everybody. Like we said, we don't make the claims, but I saw what happened in my family. And then I went through breast cancer 4 years ago, double mastectomy. From the time I was diagnosed, I mean, it's frightening. Anybody that's on here that's been diagnosed, it's like your life changes from this day of that diagnosis when you get that call. I had a double mastectomy, a rebuild. And in 90 days, you guys, from the time I was diagnosed to my double mastectomy, my last surgery was 90 days. And I healed so quickly. And, I watched Lucille Ball. I didn't turn the news on. I did all the things you're supposed to do, so it's a whole gamut of shifting your thought, your mind, drinking more water, getting a lot of rest, and being around positive people. So those are the things that have happened in my life. And I'll always be forever grateful that Nancy Warner walked into our life, 23 years ago. So that's Holly. And I love that. There's so many people on this call tonight that I see. There's different health challenges that we've all had that I just know, what do we get, you guys? We get fruits and vegetables in a capsule. In a capsule, it doesn't get any easier than that. So Holly, go ahead. I'll go on.
So for those of you that aren't aware of exactly what Juice Plus is 30 raw fruits, veggies, and berries so not only just fruits, veggies, and berries, it's like the best of the best. They're non-GMO. They are like wonderful seedlings, grown on farms that are, just highly controlled. Everything is perfect. And anyone at least that lives in my area up in Pennsylvania, most of the area of the country, anything we buy in our stores, especially, not during the summer months, is grown really, really far away. It's picked. That produce is picked before it's even ripe on the vine. And that is, I don't know if you know, but in the last few days, when it's ripening, that's when it gains the majority of its nutritional value. So our food that we're buying in the store, even though we think we're like doing great, has been picked way before it was ever ripe on the vine. So it's lost so much nutrition. It's shipped across the country, and it's a lot of times it's sprayed with, pesticides and different things to make the apple shiny and all sorts of stuff that doesn't need to happen. But the produce in Juice Plus is not picked until it's at its absolute right point. And then it's immediately taken to, they have drying facilities located very, very close to all their farms. And not only do they use the actual like fruit, or say juice from the fruit, or the vegetable, but the entire plant. We're talking the leaves, the seeds, the peels, anything. Do you know that the majority of the vitamin C in an orange is actually in the peel, not in the orange itself? I thought that was amazing when I found that out.
Yeah.
So they use everything that they possibly can that has any sort of nutritional value, and it all gets basically dried up, and there's a special like preparity drying process. They do it at very low temps so it doesn't lose any of its enzymes and nutritional value, and then it's basically put into capsules or into a gummy form. So it's the exact same product in both of them. It's just they have to add like a sweetener, basically like a tapioca, to get the gummies, to stick together. But that is the thing. When you look at a bottle of Juice Plus, it says nutrition facts. I don't know if this is backwards or not for you guys, but it's not a vitamin. It's not a supplement. This is actual whole foods. And that is what makes Juice Plus stand out. And another wonderful, wonderful thing is it has this little certification on here saying NSF. If you've never heard of NSF, that is a third-party company that goes in and basically does testing on all the products to make sure that what is on the label. So for instance, this is the berry blend. Raspberry, bilberry, blueberry, cranberry, pomegranate, Concord grape, blackcurrant, blackberry, elderberry, artichoke, cocoa. That is exactly what's in there. Nothing more, nothing less. If there was, NSF can't put their little certification label on there. So amazing, amazing product. We have professional athletes, Olympians that take, and that there's actually says NSF Sport on it. It's even certified even to a higher level. So know that when you are getting Juice Plus, you are getting whole foods that are guaranteed to be exactly what's on the label is what's in the bottle. But the other big thing is the research. Oh my goodness, the research. There's like 25 years of research on this product, guys, with over 40 published studies. And when we're talking studies, learned a lot about different kinds of studies in pharmacy school. But this is gold standard. And if you're not familiar with gold standard, it's the best of the best. It's, double blind, placebo based. It can't get any better. Right. And it is published in the highest medical journals, American, Journal of Cardiology. I could go on and on. There's an entire list of, journals that has been published in saying, disproving what happens when you put, good fruits and vegetables into your body, what happens. And the people that are doing their studies are the top universities and hospitals around the world. And that is just so wonderful for all of us healthcare professionals to know that it's just great to know that such high quality places are studying this, and it's being published in actual medical journals, and the number of health professionals that we have in our company is amazing. But I want you to hear another one of our speakers tonight, Brian. He has a great story, and I'd love to hear from you next, Brian.
Hi, sure. Thanks so much, Holly. And so nice to be invited on here with everybody this evening. Again, my name is Brian Speakman. I'm a licensed massage therapist here in Pennsylvania. I also work as a behavioral health specialist and a husband and a father. Shared earlier, this is my way to just win everybody over right off the bat. So there's little Shyla. And he was born about 5 months ago, just before Halloween. All right, so of course we had to break out the little baby Yoda for him in Halloween time there, and we were having a little bit of difficulty conceiving, and my wife and I had been using Juice Plus for years at that point, but we were I will say kind of some of the time Juice Plus people. We had the best intentions always. Sometimes we would get to the end of our we get the new shipment in and we still have, plenty from the previous shipment, and said, oh, we thought we had been taking them, every day. And we thought that we had been doing all the things that, we're trying to do here. And so, once we started really paying attention more and more to our health and our nutrition, and we were trying to do all the things, buying organic, spending the extra money, and then having the breakdowns of the chocolate cravings and everything like that. And being in the healthcare field, both working with the physical body, doing massage therapy, and even just tonight, I was right before here, I just got home from a reflexology session, which is where you do a lot of thumb work on people's feet or hands, and you trigger all the different areas in their body. And I asked the lady, well, what brings you in this evening? And she kind of got a little embarrassed look on her face, and she's like, well, I just heard it's really good and really relaxing, and I've been having a little constipation, right? And kind of bowel issues. And we hear so oftentimes about how people have so much bowel issues. And I was like, yeah, I can definitely help with that. And as I'm working on her and I'm feeling kind of the obstructions and moving through the restrictions in there, we're talking a bit about diet. We're talking about stress, right? We know how much stress kind of everybody is in. Being a behavioral health specialist, I work with a lot of people with a lot of stress and anxiety, and we know this last year has just kind of amped that all up. Well, what happens when we're experiencing stress and anxiety? We get kicked into fight or flight. Right, it's our automatic reaction. What happens when we're in fight or flight? Our digestive system basically shuts down, right? Because in order to survive, I don't have to be digesting properly at that moment. So the difference is nowadays, our stress is sitting here on Zoom, and, oh, I have bad internet connection, or I have, the boss that wants this deadline, to be met, but I have a 5-month old who wants my attention, and dinner to cook, and we're trying to have good nutrition in with all of it. And so it just kind of brings this whole idea of how everything is so interconnected,
Mhm.
and how our mental health, our physical health and well-being, are so hand in hand. And really, one place that's a really easy place to start is, what am I eating? What am I putting into my body? Am I getting enough water, right? Or am I dehydrated? Am I getting, those whole fruits and vegetables, and getting all of those little phytonutrients in there that help my digestive system, come back online? Am I then being encouraged by my commitment towards my health and wellness to also practice some mental health and wellness? So am I doing some stress reduction, some stress management, right? So when we get out of fight or flight, what do we go into? Anybody know? It's called rest and
Relaxation.
digest. Rest and digest. Yeah. So if we're not going to be in fight or flight, we can be in rest and digest, and our stomach gets to kick back online. We get to start absorbing all the nutrients that we're just, kind of passing through our system when we take, the various, multivitamins and things like that never really absorb too much. Just gives us expensive, colorful pee, right?
Mhm.
And these, nutrients within Juice Plus, I've found, absorb into our system and help us heal from the inside out. And I kind of joke with my wife sometime, I haven't been sick in years. And I used to have asthma, and I have beautiful long flowing hair. You don't see it now, but so nails are strong, right? All these things that you hear, from people who have strong health. And I don't think it's by accident. I work 4 jobs. I have a teenage daughter and a 5-month-old son. We moved into our house literally 10 days before my wife gave birth. Here's my little picture with her, right? Oh, everybody's saying, "Oh," I know you're all on mute, but everybody's saying, "Oh." And so, Juice Plus for me has been a big part of, making the commitment towards myself, my health. I'm no spring chick. Bringing a little baby into the world at 43 years old is a little like, and then we want more. So I got to make sure that I'm going to be around. Right. I want to be like Hazel there, kicking it at
Right.
91, right? One of my first people I ever worked on in massage therapy regularly, a 93-year-old woman who drove herself to the spa once a month to get her hour reflexology session done, right? And she was all about the holistic treatments and, rubbing, Vaseline on her feet, putting socks on, just all kinds of different great things. But we all aspire to live that long, healthy life so we can be there and be present, right, for ourselves, not always fighting, illness and the ills of stress, but that we can really enjoy ourselves, and we can do that when we get healthy from the inside out with good nutrition, with stress management, and get a massage every once in a while, right? You deserve it.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you. Oh my
Absolutely.
God.
Absolutely, Brian. My massage therapist is on tonight. Hi, Erica.
There you
Seeing
go.
her tomorrow. And it's one of those things that it's just on my monthly calendar that I do. And there's so many things we can do for ourselves to change our health. And like you mentioned, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, moving our body on a daily basis, doing those things that work for you to de-stress. Um, just wonderful. So Becky, real quick, if you wouldn't mind just sharing your story, and then we'll open it up and see, what questions people have for us. But you used to be in the drug rep field yourself, and you have a great story we'd love to hear.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So I went to school for healthcare administration, and a lot of what we learned in school was business healthcare, how to run the business of healthcare law, stuff like that. We never really learned about the care of our health. And to kind of echo what Brian just said, we really need to look at all the pieces of that puzzle, of that health puzzle. I've learned so much over the last 7 years of being part of the Juice Plus company. And when we started, 7 years ago, I'm a mom of 3 boys, and they're now 11, 13, and 15. So we're in different stages, but still with the same goals and intentions. I started out just wanting to get more fruits and veggies into their diet. I really wanted them to have the variety, and I knew that to have the best health, that we needed that. But like Holly said, picky eaters, availability, having fresh produce around, it's challenging. You don't have that all the time. So she actually introduced Juice Plus to me, and we got started, and we loved it right away. And I noticed the value that it was already like changing our taste buds. We were having less cravings, more energy. My cholesterol went way down. Our immune systems were so much stronger, and just like little things that you don't think about until you're not noticing them anymore. Allergies, skin health, stuff like that just improved, and we just felt better. Getting all of that in on a daily basis, a little bit of a lot of different things makes a big difference. We tend to eat the same, apples, bananas, carrots every day, right? But we need the variety. So that was really important to me. And we haven't missed a day in 7 years. And now that my kids are older and they are all athletes, obviously school is super important. They're just very, they're doing a lot more with their days than we did when we were the same age. So having this foundation to give them every single day is just such a blessing, and just such a comfort that we can do that. And we all have these health challenges, and I'm sure that there's something that you maybe heard tonight that sparks some inspiration that you might want to bring up and talk about. Feel free to use the chat function too, guys. But I'd kind of like to open it up, and if anybody wants to comment on something they heard or share a health challenge that that they have that I'm sure there's at least one other person on here who's had the same one. So you could just unmute and share.
Becky, I want to thank you for that too. And I know Holly, but I just wanted to say too, is that you had some information or when you used to take vitamins, you had problems with vitamins. People don't realize there's a problem with vitamins.
Yeah. So, our, like Holly mentioned, our food is just not what it used to be, and in the soil. And so we turn to multivitamins and as a fix for that, as a bridge for that. But really what we're deficient in is the fruits and vegetables, not in vitamins. Vitamins are added to so many things. Cereal, I mean, anything you pick up is a lot of it's fortified because our soil is just so depleted. But I had multivitamin toxicity twice. Can you please go to the answer? Sorry, my puppy's barking because he hears me in here and he's not in here with me. So, but it was from vitamin A and iron. And really, if I hadn't had my annual blood work, I wouldn't have known that those things were going on. So, but it was from my multis. I was just taking too many, or what I thought was too many, some vitamin C. But if you take too much vitamin C and you have iron, it makes your body retain iron at a higher level. And so there's so many combinations of things that we don't realize them. Plus, like I said, what we're getting in our fortified food. So that's when I knew I had to get back to basics. Something was telling me you just need to really, step away from these multivitamins. I'm not saying that they're not helpful to some people who might have, real deficiencies, but really blood work is a great thing to know where your numbers are at. And just see before you just grab something off the shelf, because I was taking a normal women's multivitamin that was recommended to me at the wellness pharmacy. And it just was not the right thing. It had way too much of everything in it for me. So, but when our bodies know what to do with food. So that's the great thing. When it comes from actual food, it can process it properly, and it makes such a big difference. So that's just my little journey in learning. And then, like I said, when Holly shared this with me, it just made perfect sense because it was food and back to the basics that we needed.
So very true. And just peace of mind, right, Becky? I mean, just peace of mind knowing that, we all have our good days and our bad days, and we all probably try to do, as best we can. But it is so hard to get those recommended 7 to 13 servings of fruits and veggies a day, an average of 10. That's hard, of good quality, high quality, organic, non-GMO, like raw. It's very, very hard. So that's where Juice Plus comes in. It's meant to bridge that gap of what we do eat and what we should eat.